I am a semi-retired rock star that toured with my band Big Kettle Drum for nearly 20 years. Famous enough to make a living at it, not famous enough for anybody to know who we are. And we, I transitioned off the road about 9 years ago. Started to make that transition and to corporate speaking. Originally started to speak on collaboration is where my sort of career in that realm started. Ended up writing a book about values and how to discover your values called Black Sheep, which became a bestseller and translated into a bunch of languages. And that sort of launched me into a different area where now I'm just fortunate enough to go from conference to conference, helping organizations grow their businesses by building bridges between personal and organizational values.
You're the guy
No,
though, like when Billy Idol comes in and says, "You can't say rock star." Like you're like, "Well, I was a rock star."
Technically, that is correct. Yes, I could say it, maybe a little tongue in cheek if Billy Idol's in the room. But yes, yes,
I don't know. I was never musically inclined, so I'm jealous that you could even have made a living at it for 20 years, right? It just seems
Yeah, that's
it
amazing.
it just seems so cool. Total aside, one of Phil and I's mutual friends, who's an attorney in Cleveland, his daughter, who's 17 years old, just played as the show opener in Cleveland for Rhett Miller of the old 97s, who had made a promise to her when she was 9 years old that she could open a show for him someday. And so she got to do it at 17. And then he brought her back on
amazing.
stage and performed with her. It was really a cool, it was really, it's on Facebook, but it was really a cool moment. So
Super
Well,
cool.
good on him for keeping his promise. That's amazing.
right, and a bucket list item, I'm sure,
Yeah.
so, but enough about Rhett Miller. We got our own rock star today. So Brent, you mentioned your book Black Sheep, and that wasn't when we met. That was, you're still working on that. So that's happened since we first got to know each other. So tell us about the concept behind Black Sheep, what the values are, kind of what your proposition was of your book, and you talked about how it took you in a new direction, and let's talk
Yeah,
about that a little bit as well.
yeah. The concept was birthed out of a crisis in my life at that time, where I really should have known what my non-negotiable values were, but I didn't, and it led me to some questionable decisions. And so right around that time, I was having a conversation about feeling like a black sheep, and the person that I was speaking to said, "Do you know why farmers value black sheep differently than the rest of the flock?" And I had no idea. And he said, a black sheep is valued differently because its wool cannot be dyed. So every black sheep is 100% authentically original and it cannot be made into something that it wasn't meant to be. Is that not who you want to be? And I was like, actually it is,
That's
I
great.
guess what I want to be. And that led me down this path of sort of believing that we have a flock of five black sheep values. And these are those deeply held personal core values that no matter how much someone might want to try to twist or influence you, they simply will not be moved like a black sheep's wool.